Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you are new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover here today. So do me a favor before we dive into today's topics. If you end up enjoying the video, make sure you leave it a like. And if you are new here to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button as well. We're starting here talking about what I think is some good news for Sucker Punch Productions. I think all of us are eager to know what they're working on, what's coming next from Sucker Punch. It's likely to be something related to Ghost of Tsushima, but we have good news that comes in the form of Sucker Punch acquiring new talent. Recently, it was announced that Bioware, a big EA studio, suffered significant layoffs of senior staff, and if we look here, we see that Joss Hendricks has actually joined Sucker Punch. According to his X profile, he says, in a bit of personal news, after over 14 and a half years at BioWare, working with so many fantastic people on so many fantastic things, I was laid off earlier this year. After taking some time to rest, I'm starting my next adventure with the wonderful team at Sucker Punch. So, yeah, as we continue to see, unfortunately, some bigger studios in the industry suffer layoffs, a lot of this talent is going to be looking for a new home, and PlayStation is always seemingly on the hunt for new talent. I mean, their studios are continuing to grow, and they're always looking to improve what it is they're doing. So just figured I would let you guys know about this. Moving on to the next topic, we have the Spider-Man 2 PS5 file size revealed. So it says here, Sony Interactive Entertainment has started shipping out the limited edition Marvel Spider-Man 2 PS5 console bundles, revealing the game's size. The themed consoles, DualSense controller, and console covers were supposed to be available starting September 1st, but Sony shipped them out a little bit early. Folks who've received their Spider-Man consoles shared images of the box online, which asks players to have at least 98 gigabytes of free space for the game. So there you have it. If you were wondering how much space you're going to need for Spider-Man 2, you're going to need 98 gigabytes, so about 100 if we're rounding up. And it's likely there will be a day one patch as well. So yeah, I don't think this is that surprising. Sony is going all in with Spider-Man 2. Insomniac is clearly trying to make this game bigger and better in every way they can. So yeah, I was always expecting a relatively large file size. Moving on to the next topic, we have a update on the PlayStation Remote Play device, that being PlayStation Portal. So recently, we got new information on this device, and it's a pretty divisive device. A lot of people are saying that they do plan to pick it up and they actually plan to use it. It seems perfect for them. But a lot of other people are saying that this seems pretty useless to them, and they're a little bit frustrated that Sony decided not to do a proper new dedicated handheld in the same vein as, say, the PlayStation Portable or the PlayStation Vita. However, the update here on the PlayStation blog says PlayStation Portal Remote Player will launch in select markets on November 15th, 2023, and is now available for pre-order at PlayStation Direct in the US, UK, France, Germany, Austria, Belgium, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Italy, Spain, and Portugal. Starting on September 29th, 2023, PlayStation Portal Remote Player can also be pre-ordered from other select retailers in these countries, as well as Canada and Japan. Additional regional availability will be announced at a later date. So yeah, this is pretty much what everybody was waiting on. We did get the price of this. It's going to be $200 US, but now we know it's going to be launching on November 15th. And as of the time of this recording, if you go over to PlayStation Direct, they are still available to pre-order, which, I don't know, it's hard to say if this is a good or bad sign. It's worth noting, it says here, due to high demand, there's a limit of 1 remote player per order. So that seemingly indicates that there is demand here, right? That people are purchasing this. So it's just a matter of seeing if it ends up selling out or not. But there you go. Let me know if you plan to pick one up. Moving on from that, we have a rumor regarding a new PlayStation 2 emulator. This is being reported by PlayStation Lifestyle. They say rumor has it that Sony Interactive Entertainment is working on a new and improved PS2 emulator. The current state of PS2 games on PS4 and 5 isn't exactly great, so this is a welcome step if true. The report of a new PS2 emulator comes from well-respected PlayStation YouTuber Mystic. Although Mystic seems to be well connected within the games industry, it's extremely rare for him to delve into leaks. Nevertheless, he claims in his recent video at the 250 mark that he has it on good authority that Sony's working on a new PS2 emulator, but isn't ready to show us anything yet. Over on Reddit, Mystic reiterated that he did indeed hear about the new PS2 emulator and felt it was safe to mention it in his video. He also thinks that a new emulator makes sense because PS2 games suffer from a plethora of issues on both PS4 and 5. That said, Mystic says he has no idea when the new emulator will be ready. So yeah, this is certainly an interesting report because we rarely ever see or hear about Mystic being cited as a source, and I believe him 100%. The fact that he's willing to say this, the fact that he doesn't really talk too much about leaks, but you can tell if anybody's going to have some information, it's likely Mystic. And this is welcome news. A lot of people do like to play these PS2 games and are really hoping, especially now with the PlayStation Plus price hike, that Sony's going to be putting in more work to improve backwards compatibility pretty much in every aspect and in every regard on the PS5 and PS4. And so hopefully this is a good sign that they are on that road, and we can expect some hopefully significant improvements in this area. So let me know your thoughts on that. Moving on to the next topic, we have interesting rumor here. I do want to encourage people to take this with a grain of salt because I'm really not sure how reliable this individual is. I think in the past they have gotten some things correct when it comes to leaks and rumors. Other things I think that they have not gotten correct. But either way, I think that this is interesting, and that's pretty much why I decided to cover it. So if we head over to X, formerly known as Twitter, we have user Tidix. Back in January of last year, he said, an exclusive action stealth open world game is greenlit and in development at PlayStation Studios. Think Metal Gear Solid 5 meets Splinter Cell, and you can approach the mission however you want, guns blazing or never seen. And on August 27th, he gave us a little bit of an update. I guess whoever he heard this from gave him an update, and he said it's steaming ahead, major milestone hit, and the game is coming along great. Obviously, there are a lot of questions with something like this. The biggest being, can we believe this? Is this true? It's hard to say. However, the first thing that does come to mind here is Bend Studio. We know that Bend Studio is, in fact, working on a brand new AAA IP, and they have expressed a lot of excitement about this. We do know that Bend Studio specifically has a history of developing stealth games. So a lot of people are thinking that this new IP is going to be exactly what is described here, right? It's going to be this kind of stealth action game that meets Metal Gear Solid 5, Splinter Cell, maybe something like Hitman. And I think this would be perfect. Again, I don't know that I fully believe this or that I'm going to, take this as, oh, this is absolutely what they're doing. But I guess what I can say is that I hope this is true, and I hope this is what they're doing because it would be absolutely perfect. We know that Bend has skill in this area, and that a lot of fans would love to see something like this. We really don't get many, action stealth games, especially in the AAA space these days. So yeah, I hope it's true, and we'll have to remain patient and wait to see if it turns out to be true or not. But moving on to the final topic, this is something that I do feel very confident in. In fact, I believe it 100% because of the source. It says here, being reported by PlayStation Lifestyle, it's time for the monthly PlayStation State of Play. Showcase rumors, but this one actually makes sense. According to journalist and insider Jeff Grubb, Sony is gearing up for a State of Play, and the recent PlayStation Plus price hike seems to be a lead-in for the event. So if we head over to Jeff Grubb's X profile, he says, I've heard a State of Play is coming, and this feels like a lead-in for that. And he also responds to somebody who says, so no showcase? And he says, I don't know, I just haven't heard about one. So he's not saying that there isn't going to be a showcase for sure, but that he just simply hasn't heard anything. But the reason why this is significant, the fact that it's Jeff Grubb saying this, is because he is seemingly the only insider in the entire industry that has a connection that reliably gives him information regarding upcoming PlayStation events. He was the only person throughout this entire year that called the February State of Play as well as the May PlayStation Showcase. So now that he's coming out again saying that a new State of Play is coming, presumably in September, I 100% believe it, and it makes complete sense. Now, the only question that remains at this point is, what will this State of Play focus on? I think a lot of people are automatically going to be disappointed when Sony announced this because it's not a showcase, because many players feel that Sony should do another showcase, because the one they did in May was simply lacking when it comes to new first-party reveals and gameplay. But it really comes down to what Sony plans to show. I think this could be a very successful State of Play depending on how they handle it. They could do something where it's going to be maybe a 30 to 40 minute State of Play, where maybe the first 15 to 20 minutes are focused on some game updates and announcements. I mean, we need updates for games like Rise of the Ronin and Silent Hill 2 Remake, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm not expecting to get any significant updates on first-party games, but maybe the second half of the show could focus on Spider-Man 2. I did see that there was a rumor circulating on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit that apparently this is going to be a Japanese developer-focused State of Play. Now, this could be a pretty successful State of Play if that's what they end up doing. Again, all of the games I just listed are coming from Japanese developers and publishers, but we can also throw in there Kojima Productions with Death Stranding 2. If they were to do something like that, I think it could be a big success, honestly, and maybe a bit of a surprise. I know that a lot of people are going to be disappointed that this is going to be a State of Play, but I do want to remind people that Sony didn't have a showcase in 2022. They had two major State of Plays, one in June, another in September, and people absolutely loved them. A lot of people walked away saying that these were the best State of Plays Sony has ever done. So Sony has proven that while they can have very disappointing and underwhelming State of Plays, they can also have some very good and successful, exciting State of Plays as well. So that's the question we have right now that hopefully will be answered sooner rather than later. Is this going to be an exciting State of Play? Will we be safe to get excited for it? We'll find out soon, but that's going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Again, if you did, be sure to leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.